Gundam.tk presents Gundam Exia Repair II. Hey everybody, Robert184 from Gundam.tk, and today I have a backwards review for you of the high-grade Gundam Exia Repair II from the anime Gundam 00. And why is this a reverse review? Because I'm going to start with it all put together and work my way back to the parts, and why don't you let me know in the comments if you prefer this order or the regular start to finish kind of thing. So in true reverse order style, we're going to take a look at my final thoughts of this model. First of all, I think it's a fantastic kit for a high grade, and it's well worth every cent of the price. It's only 1,200 yen. And I guess the real question is if you already have the high grade Exia, is it worth buying the R2? And my simple answer for that is yes, if only for a couple of reasons. The first one being mainly that you're getting the GN sword variation, which looks fantastic. And the other big thing for me that's a selling point is when I built the high-grade Exia way back, it's like almost 2 years ago now or whatever, I used a lot of seals because I didn't bother to buy the paints. But because I got the 1/100th models, once you paint all the clear parts green on the head, on the arms, and on the legs, they really stand out. And if you've got bright light and the bright green, especially with the GN Sword 3, I think that right there makes this kit worth buying. So now the real question is how different is it from the original? And it has missing parts on the front. It doesn't have the purple inserts there. You've already seen this. On the back, the beam sabers, there's only 2 of them, and they're in a different position and they want to fall off. But the real selling points is A, that this comes with the clear pink part if you buy the O Gundam, because you're going to get a second pink beam saber with that. You get the unique drive, which is great for recreating the final scene. And I really can't stress how cool the GN sword is. It's not as posable as the O Gundam, which is something that would be very difficult to pull off, especially since this is a 2-year-old model, basically just remade. But it's still posable enough. And even if you're a fan of the 1/100th line, since they're not really releasing this in 1/100th, I would say buy it in high grade. As far as poses go, first of all though, there's really no end of variations that you can do with the GN sword extended. The shield can get away sometimes, but overall the effect is very impressive. I can't stress enough how useful it is if you buy a green action base, which goes very well with the GN particles. And don't forget that with the GN sword, you can also use it in rifle mode. And though it's not all that impressive, you still get the effect that he's flying in the air and shooting. As far as other variations go, you do get a open fist for dynamic action poses, but of course you get the regular closed fist. So if you plug that in, pull off one of the beam sabers down here. Like I said, this does want to fall off sometimes. And if you buy the O Gundam, you get 2 of these pink beam sabers. So unlike the original Exia, you can still actually have this. So plug that in, and you can change the pose however you choose. And I think that's a very nice touch that you get the pink beam sabers. Now what can this do for posability? Just to give you an idea, the arms can spin because they're on 2 different ball joints here on the shoulders. You can see here that this chest part moves as well as the arm. So the shoulder can move about this much. The arms can spin around, of course, and for mobility, you're only going to get a little bit more than a 90-degree bend there. As far as the legs coming out to the side, nothing like the O Gundam. They can come out this wide, and it can come forward fairly well. If you move this front armor up and out of the way, you can get the legs forward like that. But the legs do have decent mobility, because you can bend it here, there's a point here and a point here, and so you can get the leg all the way in. As far as the ankle goes, and there goes the beam saber on the side, the ankles can only move this much off to the side. This front piece can bend up, but the foot, you can put it fairly far back, but there's really nothing doing at the back. But overall, it's pretty impressive, just not as good as the O Gundam. So here's how it looks all put together, and for a size comparison, because it's not Gundam.tk without that, here it is next to one of the smaller master grades, the master grade 1/100th Gundam F91, which is a movie that you can check out. And you can see here that the Exia stacks up in size, but this is a very small Master Grade. And just to give it some contrast, here it is next to the Master Grade God Gundam, and that's a review that you can check out on Gundam.tk. So here's a look at all the parts when the Exia is actually taken apart. Things to remember: that this does not come with the kit, but you should be buying this with the Gundam as a set anyway. The shield, you're going to get one extra hand, otherwise you just get the regular holding hands. This is the holding the beam saber, you slap that onto the waist. A separate waist section, 2 legs, the chest, which has these blue parts which sit on here. And then over here you're going to get the original GN swords, but these have no mounts on the Exia Repair II. So, of course, if this was the original Exia, you could slap those on the waist and they'd want to fall off and get in your way. And you're going to get the GN sword variation. And, of course, an Exia head.